Ladies and gents, my name is Xander, aka Deicide, and in this video, we're going to go ahead and discuss how to play in the Warlock, and more specifically, how to play on the Voidwalker subclass. Now, many of you know that I was a Night Stalker Hunter within Destiny 1, but since then, I switched over to becoming a Voidwalker Warlock in Destiny 2, and the reason for that is because this subclass has by far the best maneuverability out of any other subclass in this entire game of Destiny 2. Now, when you couple along with this, having the fantastic team ability of using a healing or damaging rift, further coupled along with the fact that you can use a grenade to be searching for enemies, stagnant on enemies, or even that of spraying out an entire area, this subclass is by far one of the best subclasses in this entire game. In order to understand how to use all these abilities together cohesively within one subclass, we're going to discuss exactly that within this how-to video, and then we're also going to discuss all the pros and cons for using this or that ability within the Voidwalker subclass so that you guys know exactly how to use it, regardless of your playstyle, whether it's passive or it's aggressive or it's right in between. The only thing left to do is to eviscerate that subscribe button, and let's jump right into the video. The very first thing that we're going to discuss about the Voidwalker subclass is the maneuverability of that subclass, and that's based on one of two abilities in the jump, and that's called Blink or Burst Glide. Now, if you want to use Burst Glide, that's another very good ability to have, and that's because what that allows you to do is do a Warlock Glide. This Warlock Glide allows you to cover a horizontal distance much faster than what you would normally be able to if you were just simply running, and so for that reason alone, it's very nice. Now, coupled along with this, you're always going to have radar retention, and that's even more of a benefit because that's going to allow you to know exactly where enemies are as long as you're going and having map awareness with your radar, making the Burst Glide ability very beneficial. Personally, I wouldn't recommend this ability, and that's because of the very other nice ability that you have within the jump subclass, and that's the ability called Blink. What Blink allows you to do is cover a horizontal or vertical distance much faster than any other subclass in this entire game, period, end of story. That's how beneficial that Blink is. Not only are you able to go into a vertical height just like that, but you're also able to cover a horizontal distance much faster than what you were if you were just jumping, or much faster if you were just simply running or even walking. That jump ability to have Blink and go into a horizontal distance is so advantageous to go ahead and get the map control in trials or in other game modes that are competitive, and whenever you're trying to get to the map control, that is so important to have. Not only this, but Blink is also very advantageous for getting in and out of sticky situations extremely fast. You could go into a room, possibly get one or two shots off with a hand cannon, an auto rifle, or a scout rifle, or whatever it might be, and as soon as you get a little bit of damage, you can blink right out of that room just the same way that you came in, and even faster. Now you can understand why Blink is so good, because not only does it give you the ability to move around faster in horizontal or vertical distances, but it also allows you to get in and out of gunfights extremely quick. The only downside to Blink is the very simple fact that as soon as you do blink, you do happen to lose your radar for a solid 1 to possibly 1.5 and even 2 seconds. It really just depends on how often that you're blinking, but other than that, Blink is by far 110% the best way to go. As long as you can know when to use Blink and when not to, due to that radar retention loss or retention gain, however that you want to look at it, you will be 110% perfectly fine making this Blink ability and this Voidwalker subclass the best one for maneuverability in this entire game. For those of you Guardians out there who have never used Blink before, it's going to take a little bit of practice for you guys to be able to go ahead and get exactly how far that horizontal distance is, or exactly if you want to go into a vertical jump instead, and so that's what I would recommend, that you guys get the hang of this in PvE first, so that you can really understand exactly what those overall distances are, because if you happen to misjudge a distance in PvP, it could mean the difference between life and death. So that's why I would highly recommend that you guys do a little bit of practice in PvE first before you use that ability within PvP. The next ability that we're going to talk about on the Voidwalker subclass, and something that is found on all the Warlock subclasses, is the very simple fact that you can choose between the Helium Rift as well as the Damaging Rift. In my humble opinion, the only way to choose here is to choose Helium Rift, because I cannot tell you how many times that Helium Rift has not only saved my bacon, but has also saved my teammates' butt too, and because of that, this Helium Rift is 110%, no, it's 170%, no, it's a billion gajillion %, that's how powerful it is. I'm telling you guys, it is the only way to go, and the reason for this is because it's going to give you that boost in regeneration of health just like that. Now, the way in which you use the Helium Rift is say that you know that you have a guardian around a corner and you know that you have to go ahead and damage them, then what you can simply do is just put down the Helium Rift before you go around the corner. That way you actually have time to put down the Helium Rift, put a couple shots into the enemy guardian, come back into your rift, get a little bit of health, dip back out, do a few more shots, and just repeat the process over and over again until the enemy guardian is actually dead. Not just this, but not only are you going to be able to benefit from that, but so is your teammates as well. And so all 3 of you, or 4 of you for that matter, could go ahead and just dip in that Helium Rift constantly, get all the team shots in the entire world, and truly demolish the enemy team without ever taking damage yourselves. I mean, guys, this is the only true benefit to do, and the reason that I say that is because if you were to look at the damaging rift, it really doesn't benefit as much as what it would if you have on the healing rift, because the damaging buff isn't enough of a buff to actually go ahead and put more damage on other guardians within the exact same number of shots. It still takes the exact same number of shots if you were or weren't to have a damaging rift, and that's why you have to go with the healing rift, because the healing rift is not only going to benefit you, but it's going to benefit your entire team as well. One thing that I do have to say about the Rift ability in general is the fact that you are never ever to spam the ability. And what I mean by this is that say that you're in a gun battle engagement and you believe that you're not going to win and want to go ahead and put down that Rift, I strongly advise you to not do that and rather just to continue the gun battle engagement the way that it is. And the reason for this is because if you happen to go ahead and even try to put down that Rift, you may be able to get down the Rift, but it's not going to be able to regen your health in time, and so not only are you going to die, but you're also going to waste your Rift ability. That's why I would highly recommend that you guys use the Rift ability as a pre-recognition or precognition ability, in the sense that if you know that you're going to have multiple guardians in their radar, then by all means, go around a corner, pop the Rift, and then go ahead and engage the enemy team, because this is going to benefit you, and it's going to benefit your team, and that's ultimately what's going to allow you guys to win more gun battle engagements in Destiny 2. The next key ability that we're going to discuss is the grenade ability, one of which you can choose from, and that's either a Vortex grenade, a scatter grenade, or an Axiom Bullet grenade. Now, the way in which each one of these 3 grenades works is very, very unique, and so let me explain all of them so that you know exactly the right pretenses to use them under. With a Vortex grenade, that's solely designed to hold down an area because the grenade doesn't move and it's always stationary. As soon as someone walks into the grenade, or if you happen to toss the grenade right at somebody's feet, then that individual is always going to take damage from that grenade as long as they are standing within inside of that grenade. Now, this is very nice for control and holding down capture points, but other than that, in my humble opinion, it's really not that effective. Rather, what I would have you use is a scatter grenade, because a scatter grenade can do the exact same thing, and it can also do more damage in a more efficient manner, because a scatter grenade goes into a radius of around someone that's there, and so it can damage multiple guardians at the exact same time, and it does that damage even faster than what that of a Vortex grenade could. That's why a scatter grenade is much more beneficial, because it disperses into an area that is then going to be around an entire guardian's body instead of just at their feet. Now, the last grenade is called an Axiom Bullet, and the way in which those work is that you toss it around a radius, and then that radius, if it happens to hit a body, is then going to seek 2 or more enemies. The reason that it's going to seek them is because the grenade actually spawns 2 particular orbs, and if someone happens to be within that radius of which the grenade landed, then those orbs are going to seek the enemy team. In my humble opinion once more, I truly believe that these Axiom Bullet grenades are the best, and the reason for that is because it causes the enemy team to run away and get away from you, allowing you to recover more of your health, while at the same time possibly damaging them. Now, it may not be as effective as an instantaneous damage kill like that of a scatter grenade, but the Axiom Bolt already has that huge advantage of damaging multiple enemies, while at the exact same time giving you time to recover and even damaging the enemy team all cohesively together. So if you really wanted to use a grenade, I would try and use either a scatter grenade or an Axiom Bullet grenade, because I believe that those 2 are going to be the most beneficial for you. And now that you know all of the scenarios in which you can use them in, choose whichever one that you see fit, and whichever one fits your playstyle the best. The very last thing that we're going to talk about within the Voidwalker subclass is the fact that you can actually choose between one of 2 main key builds, one of which is called Attunement of Chaos, and the other which is called Attunement of Hunger. Attunement of Chaos is designed for more of an aggressive player like myself, and you can also choose from Attunement of Hunger, which is designed for more of a passive player, and I'm going to explain exactly what each one of those are, and the reason for that is because of the way in which the abilities are within each one of those builds. Within the Attunement of Chaos build, you have one primary ability, and that's called Chaos Accelerants. Chaos Accelerant allows you to go ahead and charge your grenade at the cost of a little bit of super energy just by simply holding down L1, and that's going to then create a more effective grenade. Now this grenade could either be a scatter grenade or that of an Axiom Bullet grenade like we already discussed, and if it happens to be an Axiom Bullet grenade, you're actually able to spawn 4 Axiom Bolts that are more deadly and more powerful because they actually seek the enemy team much faster than what you were to if you didn't happen to have on the charge at all. That's why I like this ability so much and why I happen to have on this subclass build tree, because of this one key ability called Chaos Accelerant. Now this could also work very well for a scatter grenade, because a scatter grenade can also do instantaneous damage within just 1 second and down 1, possibly up to 2 guardians if you happen to charge it just like you do for that of the Axiom Bolt. Now the other nice thing about the Attunement of Chaos build is the fact that you have on the ability called Entropic Pull. And what that states is that as soon as you strike an enemy, that melee ability is going to drain the enemy's life force while at the same time recharging your grenade. Thus, that's why I like to have this on even more, is because every single time that I melee somebody, I'm going to get more of my grenades back, allowing me to do more damage simply by having that charge much quicker. The last thing that you have to know about the Attunement of Chaos build is the fact that the Nova Bomb travels much slower, however, it can also detonate. So what's very nice about this is that you can get up close and personal with somebody's face and then just instantaneously do the Nova Bomb, demolishing that Guardian no problem. What you can also do is fire the Nova Bomb from afar, and when this happens, not only is the Nova Bomb going to seek the enemy out, but at the exact same time, you can go ahead and shoot the Nova Bomb, and then it's going to disperse into 4 more separate orbs that are all going to seek in different directions at multiple Guardians. That's why this Attunement of Chaos build is so nice in my humble opinion, because it can seek out multiple Guardians, making this thing so beneficial. Now inversely related to all of this is the Attunement of Hunger build, and the way in which this build is designed is that you have an ability called Feed the Void. And so what that allows you to do is again hold L1 to consume your grenade energy, but in this case you're not actually grenading the enemy team. What you can rather do is charge it to regenerate your health instantaneously. That's why this build is more for of a passive player, because if you happen to get damaged and you have your grenade, boom, there's instantaneous health just like that, no problem whatsoever. What this also has is an ability called Devourer, in that it states that killing an enemy with this melee ability, you can fully regenerate your health. So not only can you use your grenade to go ahead and regenerate your health, but you can also go ahead and melee somebody and again instantaneously regenerate your health. What you can also do with this ability in this subclass is the fact that you got Vortex on there, and what Vortex allows you to do is cast your Nova Bomb very fast. Now what this instantaneous Nova Bomb does is it makes it go 1 billion miles an hour faster, but at the exact same time, as soon as you get 1 kill with it, you're able to instantaneously regenerate your health once more. So as you can see, this Attunement of Hunger build is designed for more of a passive player, because every single type of ability that you use within this subclass build allows you to regenerate your health, while inversely related to this, the Attunement of Chaos build is designed to do more damage, and that's why it's more designed for an aggressive player. If we look at the Voidwalker subclass as a whole, you guys now have a very thorough understanding of how this subclass is designed and which abilities that you guys have got to use if you want to be able to know how to use this Voidwalker subclass in PvP very effectively, or at least try to make it more effective for the playstyle that you have. What I would recommend that you guys use is number 1, Blink, number 2, the Helium Rift, and number 3, either the Axiom Bullet or the Scatter Grenade, again whichever one suits your preference. The very last thing that you guys can choose from is that Attunement of Chaos or the Attunement of Hunger build, and whichever one that you guys so see fit, use the one that fits your playstyle the best. If you're more passive, then use the Attunement of Hunger. If you're more aggressive, then use the Attunement of Chaos. Whatever your playstyle is, this Voidwalker subclass has all the abilities that you need to fit that playstyle to the T and make it so that you can absolutely decimate Guardians within the Crucible. The number 1 thing again, my friends, is to master Blink, because if you can do that, you're going to outmaneuver just about any other subclass in this entire game, and when you get the hang of that, you're going to be making the enemy team a little bit salty. Lastly, go ahead and check out some of my other new videos, as you can see right there on the screen. If you happen to enjoy this one, you're definitely going to enjoy those as well. That's pretty much all that I've got for you as of right now, and so as always, deislayers, great gaming, until next time.